Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. Today I have my special guest. She is a fellow podcaster, filmmaker, video journalist, musician, and much, much more. No other than Miss Vanessa Vivacious.
So happy to be here. So glad to meet you, talk about books and all things vivaciousness.
Vivaciousness. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you so much for sharing your vivaciousness to the world, Miss Vanessa. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ooh, sound effects. I love it.
Yes. So today let's talk about find your happy place. What is all about?
Ooh, good question. So, previous to this last year, I had spent 4 years traveling the country interviewing strangers about happiness. And I would always get asked, what was it that people said? What was the most common answer? Why are people happy? And to be honest, the answer is actually very subjective to the person and their personal experiences. So there was never one answer, but what I did find is that there were commonalities amongst family, amongst friends, amongst support networks, amongst experiences with other humans. And so that was what led to happiness for all of these people. And then before that, the whole journey started with a documentary series called Are You Happy? And it still goes on today where they interview strangers all over the world. But I started with them as a volunteer, interviewing strangers and asking them, Are you happy? Simple question. And then ending with, What is your message to the world? But when we would get to the end of this interview, which is done by phone, the people would tell us what their message to the world was. And it was always fascinating to see their face and to see their thought process. It was as though they were experiencing their entire life and then just pulling out a moment and sharing that message with the world. But when it comes to happiness itself, it's purely subjective based on your personal experience. No one's experience is, greater than the other. And so whatever you hold true to you, that's your happy place and that's where you belong.
Miss Vanessa, are you happy?
I am. I am so happy right now.
Yes, that's the right answer. Yes, we are happy for sure. And finding your happy place can sound like a simple cliche. How do you redefine or deepen this concept in your idea that make it substantive, actionable strategy for a modern life?
Can you rephrase the question?
So this is a happy place that we are talking about. So how do you redefine or deepen the concept by your own definition?
To deepen the concept of happiness for me, it's rooted in service to others. And
Okay.
so, whatever it is that I can do to be kind to someone else, to be thoughtful, to consciously make an effort to make life better for someone else in the smallest of way or a big way, even, I think that contributes to how I enact, being happy and bringing happiness into the world. So, I feel like for all of us, we live our lives and we're very, focused on our path. But when we start to open up to the rest of the world and notice that there are people around us and that what we do, our actions, our words, our thoughts, our feelings, all of that we can use to help make other people happy as well. And I think that deepens the concept of happiness and my perception of happiness.
Yes, there's a song said, "It's nice to be happy." Sha la la la. If you know that song.
And don't worry, be happy. Can't forget
Yeah.
that one.
Yes, 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 yes. There's a lot of songs about happiness. Will you be my guest also to my other podcast, Music 101?
100%. I'm a musician,
Yeah.
all for it.
Okay. Thank you for that. How is your approach different from just thinking positive or practicing gratitude? What are the harder, perhaps counterintuitive steps you advocate for?
Well, I advocate for action because while we can think like, oh, I should do something nice, well, to put that into action is everything. So that's how I would take that next step to making an impact on everyone. I feel like if we can even begin to tap into that part of ourselves, then we are going to make a significant difference.
Miss Vanessa, how did you balance sharing your own journey with ensuring the advice felt evidence based and universally applicable?
Well, I do a lot of self-reflection, and I speak to my family. They keep me grounded and they help me to kind of dissect what it is that I'm going through or what journey that I'm going through. So I think that they, as a support network, help me to further understand and appreciate all of the journeys that we've been on. My family has observed from the sidelines where I go fly to another state or I'm in another city and I'm working with various humans of all shapes and sizes, right? And just to be able to go back and reflect and then dissect what I've been through, that I think that that makes a huge difference.
A huge difference for sure. In a world often tell us happiness is tied to achievement, status, or possessions. How does your advocacy guide readers to couple their happy place from
Mhm.
external circumstances?
So if we take all of that away, then we're left with just ourselves. And if you think about, what did you do or what did you say or how did you act despite all of those possessions, of all of those statuses, all of those successes, all of those trophies, who's that person there? And if you take a moment and you think about it, if you're happy with that person, then you're on a good trajectory. But if you're not happy with that person or you don't know what to think, you're stuck, then that means that there's some more work to do. I grew up with nothing. I grew up on dirt floors. I grew up in a time where it was a luxury to even have bread, right? Or to
Mhm.
have a piece of meat for dinner. And so I understand what it's like to have absolutely nothing. And then I also understand what it's like to be on the trajectory to something even more awesome. You know, we're not at that end point yet at the finish line where we are on stage accepting an Oscar. We're not accepting, some crazy humanitarian award for solving world peace, which we could totally do. But but ultimately just not really putting blinders on, but just filtering out all of those things that don't necessarily have anything to do with our inner happiness, then that makes for a more rich experience, but it also makes for a different path that can take you places you've never been.
Miss Vanessa, do you think happiness is shallow if you're referring to your accolades or status or anything else?
I would say that it depends on what the percentage is. So, like, if that's all you're concerned about, then perhaps. But it's also a testament to your experience, your talents, to your ethic of work, right? To your ability to be, I guess, disciplined, right? To achieve
Mhm.
such things. So no, it's not necessarily a bad thing or negative. It just becomes that way when that's everything to you, that you disregard life for other people for those particular things. Then at that point, it becomes, a little bit toxic.
For sure. So, for someone feeling completely overwhelmed or disconnected, what is your very first small practice you recommend that they even begin the search for the happy place?
Find and connect with something that just brings instant joy. Is it a song? Is it a book? Is it playing an instrument? Is it giving someone a hug or a positive affirmation? Whatever it is that just strikes an immediate spark for you, that is what you need to dive into so that way you can begin to unfold and just manifest and live in that happy place. You said disconnected. We are so disconnected in so many ways. There's a video on my YouTube channel about the video series for Humanity 2.0, and
Mhm.
the introduction says, 8 point blah 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 billion people in the world, and we are disconnected, and that's so not okay. So it's funny that you mentioned disconnection because we are. And recent events in the last years, COVID, all kinds of world events and in politics and such, it's disconnected us even more, and in some areas more than others. So we have a lot of work to do because we are disconnected, but it doesn't necessarily rule out that happiness cannot happen or that connection cannot happen, because it totally can. And yes, I'm an optimist. I'm a positive person all the time. But if you knew me before and have seen what I've lived through and survived through, you might ask, like, how could you even be that happy, or how could you even be positive based on your life experience? And I can say that it's because of humanity and what I've seen and what I know the possibilities can be. There's so much possibility. And I believe that we'll get there and we will reconnect. My podcast, Humanity 2.0, you have people sharing stories with humanity so that they can hear and ingest these things, and they can, resonate, and they can inspire. So there's so much catalyst in the Humanity 2.0 podcast that you find yourself saying, oh man, this person really touched me. And now I'm going to change the world.
Yes, and thank you for sharing and changing the world through connection, Miss Vanessa. The Happy Place Toolkit. If you had to distill your advocacy down to three essential, non negotiable tools or practices for maintaining your happy place, what would they be?
There's chocolate, lots and lots of chocolate. Scientifically, there's studies that say chocolate is, good for you, and it promotes endorphins, yada yada. So it's scientifically proven that there's chocolate in that toolkit. There's also, whatever feels comfortable, like a soft blanket. For me, it's a soft blanket or a sweater, something that's really cozy that makes me feel, safe. And then there's music. For me, music is my whole life. It's been part of me since I was a young child. I played the flute, I played piano, I played some guitar, but then I also watched movies in my own mind, and I would listen to music like Yanni and other film scores, and then I would just create these little movies in my mind, and that brought me comfort. So music. I mean, we express ourselves with music all the time, right? With
Yes,
movies, and when we hear music, we see moments of our lives, just like films. So
true.
music is there for sure. Whatever you want. If you like Kenny G, that's okay. Whatever. I like
I
Yanni. I'm
love
not afraid
Kenny
to
G.
admit it.
Yes, I love Kenny G. It's soothing you, especially when you reminisce.
Yes.
How can someone access their happy place mindset during moments of acute stress, like difficult conversation, or work
Mm.
crisis, or personal conflict?
Mm. I would recommend to maybe create a list of words that spark happiness for you, or maybe some books, or maybe some pictures. Images are powerful, right? Of course, movies are a series of images. So creating a list, or a playlist even of music, and that I think can help you to subconsciously kind of bring forth that happiness spark, and it can help to smooth over these difficult periods.
A difficult period indeed. And Miss Vanessa, permission for a struggle. Does the pursuit of a happy place risk making people feel guilty or inadequate when they are inevitably experience sadness, anger, or anxiety? How does your framework make spaces for a full spectrum of human emotion?
Okay. I believe I understand half of the question. um, so I understand what it's like to be,
Happy when
yeah.
you're
Well,
making, especially if you're angry
yeah.
and you're having anxiety,
hmm
how you
So
deal with that?
I'll give you an example. I spent a year doing nothing. Um, I spent 4 years traveling, right? And then after
Mm-hmm.
that, I took a year off and I did absolutely nothing. I was absolutely depressed because I worked so hard, and that point, it didn't mean what it meant to me to other people. And so I thought, okay, I throw my hands up, I'm done. I'm gonna take a break. And I took a whole year off, and the first thing I did was sleep. And then I had thoughts about what just happened and how I did all this work, and I was so terribly sad. And then I thought about all the relationships that I had, like with these people that I worked with, and all the work that we did. And just the destructive thoughts that you have, right, when you're alone with your thoughts.
Hmm.
Happens to everyone, and that's okay too, by the way. And so I took the time to heal from that and to face these ghosts, to face these difficulties that I had, and kind of think through them. And just, I think sitting with yourself is important because you're the only one that knows your experience. You can talk to someone else, and yes, some people may understand, but most won't understand what you went through. So sitting with yourself is just important, and having that conversation. And then if you need help to have a conversation with yourself, then you bring in your friends or a therapist or what have you. But I just feel like when I was in like total darkness, that's what I did, is that I sat with myself. And then when I was ready to come up for air, I did, and then I waited still until I was ready to get back into creating and into filming things and writing scripts or what have you. The podcast, I waited until that spark was there and I knew it was ready to move forward. But ultimately, when we're in difficult times, all we see is the difficulty. So trying to kind of zoom out and see the world around that sadness, we will find that there are other moments of goodness somewhere. So maybe that's the answer, is seeking the goodness in everything, no matter what it is. Is there goodness in sadness? Yeah, there is. That's the reason why there are books that are written that are so sad that they're so beautiful, and then they create a happiness for us. So it's possible to find goodness everywhere somehow. I mean, might not be apparent immediately, but say it was something terrible that happened, right? And it's just unbelievably difficult. Well, in the end, you survived, and that is the spark of the happiness.
That is the spark, people. So make that the spark. So Miss Vanessa, as a podcast host, filmmaker, video journalist, musician, and more, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Ooh, we're going to Sundance, baby.
Tandang! Yes!
Sundance, Sundance. That's what we're doing.
Yes!
We're
How
not
about
going to
Oscar?
Hollywood. We're going to, well, sure, maybe if they
Yes.
want to throw that in there, cool. But this whole thing about the Oscars being on YouTube, what is that? I don't get it. I
Hmm.
mean, if you worked so hard, why can you not go to the theater and accept your award and wear your
Yes.
Christian Siriano dress? He's beautiful, but it's, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand the full thing, but I just read that they're going to do it on YouTube, and I'm not sure how that works. Like, do you go to a production stage, a sound stage, and you're standing there with a green screen like I have?
Hmm.
Like, how does that work? But ultimate goals, I mean, I want Humanity 2.0 to be as big as the Are You Happy series was, because I worked with them on that, and that went from like 2 million to 4 million plus followers. And so I want to create that huge amount of community and have that huge impact on other humans, right? To have them understand that there are other good humans out there, and that there are like really beautiful acts of humanity if you just look for them. And then that in turn sparks, Humanity 2.0. That's where the whole title comes from. For my film work, I have some films in the scripting stages that I hope to get those made, and some documentary work as well. And I would like to see those go into Sundance, because one of them is about, a minority tribe, and I want that to go there. Voices that we've not seen before. There are a lot of minority filmmakers and even indigenous filmmakers that have never, been seen. And so that's important to me. It's part of who I am. And I would like for a book that I'm working on to get published, because it will help significantly mental health. People that suffer from mental illness, there are books that are self-help books, and they're great and wonderful, but they only tell you the beginning and the end. They don't tell you what goes on in the middle. And so I thought, what a great idea to have people that have firsthand experiences tell their stories, so that other people can receive and heal and be inspired and know that they're not alone, or know that they're going to be okay. So that's huge for me. But um, so much to do, so much to do, and I recently, am at it 100%, like 100% of the time. So it's scary, it's exciting, and it's everything to me. But I've my whole life is serving others, and so now that I get to do it creatively, that's everything for me. So I'm just excited to be alive and to be vivacious and just do everything I possibly can. We get this one life, that's it. That's literally it.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
what we do with it makes all the difference.
Life is too short, people. And Sundance,
We're going to
please.
Sundance, baby. That's your new hashtag. We're going to Sundance,
Yes.
baby.
Hashtag Sundance, baby. Come on. And good luck to your goals, Miss Vanessa. I'm looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Oh, be you. Don't be me. Be you. Biggest advice, be you because you're amazing. You are more than you know. If you feel like you belong somewhere else, you feel like you're walking out of step, you probably are, but that's just because you're meant to walk somewhere else or do something else. We all have amazing talents and energies and stories to share within us. We all have wonderful connections to make with the world. And if you're just inside your house, inside your bedroom, then the world is missing out and you're depriving them of your awesomeness. So get the heck out there and do stuff and connect with people because you're amazing and you belong in this world and you are loved above all.
Yes, people, and stop procrastinating. If you have the passion of something, please share to the world, just like Miss Vanessa and I. And can you please recommend a book of books that influence your journey?
Why, yes. It's going to be right on the nose, but let's see if we can see it in the frame. Can we see this? Yes.
Yes.
So, Chris Gardner, The Pursuit of Happiness, that of course was made into the movie with Will Smith. But the story, though, this story resonates so much because I too came from a very difficult background and experienced life without a home. And so, all of these things culminate into your future and they're not what define you. Like no way shape or form do your previous negative experiences define you, not for a minute, not if you don't let it. And so I resonate highly with that book. And his pursuit of happiness meant, pursuit of taking care of his family, of getting, a decent job so that way he could be fulfilled, but also again taking care of the family. And sometimes taking care of your family is your happy place, and that's okay too. You don't have to be the next astronaut. You don't have to be the next president.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. You can be. I hope you're good.
Yeah.
But the happiness is in the name, and it's just a beautiful story. So beautiful to see a self account of someone going from nothing to amazing, and everyone has the same ability. Everyone has the same ability to be amazing, and if you feel like you don't, or maybe you feel ill equipped, maybe you don't have tools, then you can reach out to someone. The internet is full of people that are willing to help you or answer questions to figure out how to get there. So it's just a matter of connecting with other humans and then just beginning the process. It's slow. I started doing video things like in 2002, and then I went to school and I had to leave school and then I went back 15, 20 years later or something. And so it's a long process. And when we watch on social media, it looks like as if, oh, you're a YouTube star overnight. Oh, you're a filmmaker overnight. You're Kevin Bacon overnight. Some people are, and that's
Mm-hmm.
great for them. That's just, happenstance, but that isn't what life is like. It takes a lot of work, like as well with your podcast, and as well, I know
Yes.
it takes a lot of work and determination, and it takes a lot of belief in yourself. I saw this video today where, funny enough, Will Smith was saying how, the path to you being the best of yourself is so lonely. And it's so true because it's your path and people can support you, but you're still at it alone in the office or in the recording area all alone. So it's a long process. But if you just keep going and believe in yourself when no one does or when no one's around to believe in you, you believe in you and you just keep going. And I think that's the key, is just do not stop moving. Do something.
Do
Use your phone.
something.
Your phone is a camera now. They make films on iPhones now. So it's you can do something. And if you can't, then write about it.
Yes, indeed. People, hard work, consistency, and believe within yourself is the key to success. And thank you for that recommended book, Miss Vanessa. Truly, truly empowering. So, how does your concept address burnout and sustainability? Is the happy place a source of energy, renewal, and if so, how do we protect it from depletion?
That's a good question, and it kind of is mirrored of the story I just told with the actual burnout. I
Yes.
remember before getting burnt out, just the idea of it and watching other people get burnt out and being like, "Ooh, I hope that doesn't happen to me." Totally did. It totally does, and that's okay. It's
Uh-huh.
not a bad thing. It's not a bad word. It's okay to burn out. All flames burn out, right?
Yes.
And so I would say that like a way to not self deplete or to burn completely out is to be mindful of when you're tired or be mindful of when things feel just a little off, because at that point you can intervene and you can fill yourself with, if it's literally snacks or whatever it is that you need because you're hungry. I work hours and hours and I don't eat, and sometimes I have to stop and remind myself. But emotionally being depleted, you just need to kind of be aware of when you start to drop even just a little bit, because whatever it is you have in your happiness toolkit, right? You have music, you have chocolate or jokes or whatever it is that you find that can lift you up really quick. Have those things readily available and accessible so that way you can, just kind of like fill your cup right back and then just keep going. So being mindful of when you start to drop, and then
Mm-hmm.
having a plan on how to get back up real quick, right? Maybe it's a friend of yours that says, you can do it, like that movie. You can do it. Or maybe it's another podcaster who you can talk to. I have like four of them and they're amazing. And so it can be anything, but maybe it's a picture of Bob Dole or President Bush, who knows? Maybe it's a
Yes.
picture of Bill Clinton. But uh,
Or
it's
the podcast of Miss Vanessa.
or
Why
the
not?
podcast of, yeah, that, well,
Yes.
yeah.
Why not?
I'm not very pretty to look at, but whatever. That's why I'm behind the camera. But yeah, just having something readily available to pick you back up is good, and then to sustain it, in the future and the long run. Remember and appreciate, and I'm talking to me too. Remember and appreciate what it is that you've lived through, what you've achieved, right? Did you turn the paper in? Awesome. Did you walk the dog? That's amazing. Did you make all of those things in your life, those mundane details, make them amazing? And I promise you that's going to lift you right up in seconds. Like, I drank a cup of water. I'm freaking fantastic. Just that will help you, just lift yourself up. I mean, I'm really good at motivating myself and motivating other people and telling them how awesome they are, and I do that free of charge, and I should charge for that. But it's just, the constant energy and maintaining positive things. I cannot stand it when someone is negative or
Mm-hmm.
when someone around me is negative. I will walk myself out of the room to get away from that, because protecting your happiness, your
True.
peace, your positivity, whatever makes you feel good, protect it by, owning where you are and who you're with. Are your friends mean girls? Are they mean or are they nice people? Which one do you think has the most effect on you positively? The positive ones, right? I
Yes.
want to go hang out with Mr. Rogers. I don't want to go hang out with with somebody that's a crap. I don't want to Oscar the Grouch, right, from Sesame Street. I'm not
Yes.
going to hang out with that dude. I'm going to go hang out with Mr. Rogers and PBS. That's
Mhm.
who. Just being mindful and selective, right? That's how you protect your happiness. Is who's around you. What are you doing? What are you spending your time on? Are you scrolling
Mhm.
on the phone? I mean, I don't mind scrolling because it's stories are
Addictive.
funny. Yeah, I mean, it is addictive, but I also look at it as
Yeah.
a inspiration too, right?
Yes.
For if
That's
you're creative, it's inspiration,
true.
and I used to do it for a living because I mean I did it with the docu series, and then I filmed other commercial clients for this company, and so I literally got paid to interview other business brand clients and just regular people about these brands, and I know the science behind it and the kind of formula it takes for someone to stay on the phone and watch these things. So I'm familiar with that and I appreciate the art of it, but then there's also a social responsibility for it too, which we're not very responsible. Sometimes we might promote things that shouldn't be promoted, and you have to be, aware of how, the content you're watching can interrupt your happiness. So maybe not watch too much of that and watch some little kittens play.
Yes.
That always works.
Indeed. So, Miss Vanessa, before we wrap up our discussion for today, please don't listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because Miss Vanessa will be my guest on, of course, Music 101 and what else? Abstract essay. Well, abstract
Mm.
essay in its fifth season, abstract poetry in its second season, and book 101 review coming sixth season this December. Comedy 101. Would you be my guest in Comedy 101,
I'm
Miss?
not very
Vanessa?
funny, but sure, why not?
You are
Why the
funny.
heck
Come
not?
on. Happy, happy. Yes. Comedy
Yeah.
101 third season, Food 101 sixth season, Geography 101, Love Letters,
Good Lord,
Movie
how many shows do
101,
you have, my friend?
Music 101 in its fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101 in its second
Wow.
season. And
I
of
have a
course, mental
question.
health. Please
Yeah.
do come over mental health.
Oh,
First
100%.
season. First
100%. Yeah.
season, my mental health, Law 101, Bible versus 101, Entrepreneurship 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen. Your podcast.
I have to ask you a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
When do you sleep? How are you recording?
That most of the people ask me, are you sleeping? Are
Yeah.
you a nocturnal?
Are you a vampire?
Or a vampire? Yes, I
It,
do sleep.
that, that's phenomenal. No
Yes,
wonder
thank
you're on
you.
the top of the list. It makes sense now. The plot
Yeah.
is thickened. Yeah.
Thank you,
Mad
thank you.
respect.
Please do come over and be my guest on mental health.
For
Right? It's
sure.
good for you. Music 101, Movie 101. And if you will be my, wow, regular guest, let's do this.
Right. I'll be your guest in residence. Let's go.
Let's go.
I never stop talking. Let's You know what? When your parents tell you that you talk too
Yeah,
much and your teachers tell you that you talk too
talk too
much,
much.
that means you're meant to be a podcaster.
True. Well, people practice talking and talking, talking
Yes.
because it's a talent.
It is. It is. And it can
Yes.
change lives. Totally can. The
Yes.
first video I ever did for Are You Happy docuseries was me interviewing a balloon artist, and he
Uh
said
huh.
so many beautiful things, right? And then at
Yes.
the very end, I sent it to the editors and they put it on online, and this one person commented that they had saw the video and they said, I was thinking about not being here tomorrow,
Uh
but I
huh.
saw this video and I think I'm going to stay. So it literally saved a life, and that just blew open the whole world for me.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, Miss Vanessa, what does life look like after you found it? What you found? Or it's work done? Or is it about lifelong navigation? How about
Mm.
happiness?
That's a very good question. What does life look like? I think, you know what? Life looks like inspiring the next that comes after you, because while we inspire the people that are here and we're inspired by the people that are before us, it's our job, our calling to inspire those after us. So I think that I would spend time teaching and whoever wanted to listen, and just inspire other people to carry the torch.
Carry the torch of happiness.
Mm.
Miss Vanessa The Vivacious. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything you want to promote?
100%. So we have Humanity 2.0 podcast and video series. You can find it on my YouTube channel, which is at Vanessa the Vivacious. We also have all the social platforms, your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. Just search Vanessa the Vivacious and you will find me. You have my website, vanessathevivacious.com. And then there's a personal show, which is kind of like off the mic, which is Vanessa the Vivacious Show. And that one dates back to 2012. So I've been podcasting for some time with a lot of breaks, but a lot of vivaciousness too. So follow me because I need way more followers. I came from accounts of 4 million and now I started over. So it is so sad. So people, please follow the channels,
Please.
please follow the channels because I cry a little bit, and no, I don't. But and then also you can support the show. It's listener supported. So buy me a coffee /Humanity 2.0 podcast allows you to buy Humanity a coffee and help support the show to keep us running. Much like PBS, we need your help.
Yes, definitely. See, Miss Vanessa, you are a natural comedian.
Oh, thank
Maybe
you.
guest to my Comedy 101. Yes, people, let's support Miss Vanessa The Vivacious because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this to come. So, Miss Vanessa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Don't forget to be vivacious.
Vivacious! More to come, people. See you soon.